There. Test. Test. Okay. This is really weird, chat. But as long as you can hear me and see me, I think we're gonna go with it. Everyone's checking in, obviously alerts have gone out. But let me give you an idea of why this seems so strange to me. If you can hear me, like, right now in OBS, the start streaming button still says start streaming. The output under stream says inactive. I am not streaming on YouTube right now because when I started off trying to stream tonight, it was not apparently allowing me to stream to Twitch. And so I had YouTube set up as like my primary feed, and I was copying the YouTube feed and sending it to Twitch. Same exact feed, same exact show. And so I ditched all of that. I went to just a straight, we're just doing a straight Twitch feed right now. Supposedly we're streaming? This is actually a little, creepy. That, it's streaming, but in no way shows that I'm streaming right now. Like, it shows on Twitch's website that I'm streaming. But OBS right now in no way shows that I am streaming. It shows that I'm recording. It is so weird. Give me one moment, chat. Good, we're recording back here. Let's make some coffee and take my head off of this nonsense, since it's apparently working somehow. Actually, let me see if I can show chat what I'm talking about here. It's gonna take me a moment here. Need a new source. Crop to That is what it currently shows on my OBS. It does not show me as streaming. It does not show me as active. It shows me as inactive on stream. What the heck, chat? What the heck? Someone clip that. Hey, Mama's house. We can use a little camera adjustment here. Apologize, the camera moving. Yummy. I had more of it last night. Of course, you'll have to look in the Discord to see what I did with the second fish. Had to move the mic. Beard was brushing. Welcome in, everybody. Did I welcome in? I don't think I welcomed in really anyone in here tonight. Let's see. Welcome in, Muskeg. Hello, JK. Hello, Cosmic. Welcome in, They Can See Me. Happy to see you, Will. Welcome, Michael. Keep over pouring the kettle now that I'm using a little bit smaller cup. Other than trying to get streaming working lately, everything's been working pretty well lately around here. I don't know what it is with streaming lately. I mean, between internet issues and the start of last stream and this craziness with, like, it not even showing me as live. Let me just do this quick myself, just to point out that, hey, this doesn't make sense when I'm streaming live, does it? No, not really. I don't need more hot water kettle, sorry for the noise in the background. And so because of the whole streaming thing, I got knocked out of, I was in the middle of straining oil for frying tonight. And I didn't finish up on the silverware before the start of stream. Oops. Now I'm wondering how long I have been streaming. It's sort of weird because when I shut off YouTube, it was not showing me as live on Twitch. If it ain't broke, he ain't streaming. That's for sure, Mama's house. Gonna have to remember to export this video to YouTube now since I'm not streaming on YouTube. Though then again, when I upload the videos individually, I think it's because it's different. For some reason, they get different metrics. Maybe it'll be good. YouTube is like totally about, we want pre-recorded video. They're sort of like mildly tolerant of the idea of streaming. But regardless, thank you for joining my complaint stream. I hope you've had a lovely night. Cheers. Crowding my coffee with dishes here. Yeah, we're not going to worry about that now. Oil. Let's get into chicken, because we need to get chicken marinating. We can worry about the oil a little bit later. Hi, T. Thank you for the resub. Yep, and it gives me bones to make my stock later on. How do I want to go about this tonight? I guess we'll start off like normal. Yeah, I cut into the thigh there. Oopsies. Breaking down or roasting, like, I'll do that if I was doing it quickly for a spatchcock chicken. Like, all you really need to do is snap the breastbone. But if I was doing it for anything I cared about, dinner for myself, dinner for client I cared about, I'd do it like I normally do it on stream. I'd cut it in at least halfway, and then maybe break it. Almost threw that out rather than in the bone bag. We'll get rid of the rest of the socket here. Cartilage that's just not gonna turn out nice frying. Should have done this on the other one. We're going to check the other one for bones now and excess cartilage. Debating whether I want to leave the skin on or not. I'm leaning towards not. I'll take it all off together though. It's a little bone chip. Part of the, well, let's call it the kneecap. Maybe for a minute there, around, elementary school, before things were understood. But that was more because it was popular with a bunch of other kids in class. I didn't really have a huge interest in it. My parents most certainly didn't. I don't know, I think it's always had at least a little bit of its audience. I just think a couple of periods in time it had a little competition. Smell my coffee trying to get the coaster off of it. So I was thinking, since we're doing yogurt for our coating tonight, maybe we'll take the seasoning a little more Indian curry-like, and also, we'll also do the cauliflower with the red curry, and maybe we'll do a little more curry spice in with our chicken spice as well. Grab a bowl that I think this is going to tightly fit into. I am going to take the skin off. You may leave it on if you wish or desire. About the only thing I remember about wrestling as a kid is I remember in art class in, like, I don't know, 3rd, 4th grade, something like that. I did an art project around a wrestling ring. That's about all I remember. Still feeling a bone chip or something here. Absolutely legend. Welcome in, legend. Clean up. Once again. Chat's like, you think you could have skipped one of those hand washings and just not drink as much coffee? No, I needed the coffee. Oh, dad joke. Yogurt. Not a Greek yogurt, just a sort of thicker one. Hi, Glacier. So why don't we start off, since I said I was going to add curry, with some actual curry powder. But we're still going to add a lot of the typical cayenne. Actually, cayenne. Ginger. Yellow mustard. Well, you can go a little bit spicier with all this yogurt getting worked into the mix. It's a little like the carbonara on Ramen Ingredient Challenge Day a while back. Like, yeah, it was hot ramen with a whole lot of cream, egg, and... Oh, I guess I'm out of... Grey Poupon. The last of our... I'll take out the last of the jar here, see if I can't find any more in the shoulder. black pepper. Are you really adding black pepper? If you can't smell it? Other salt. Normal salt. Ooh, toughie on the scramble. Let's see, I think we got the chicken out of the way. We can throw this into the freezer. And is there any... Oh, garlic. Definitely need garlic. Definitely need garlic. And not using this. Not going to use that. Nope, nope. We can throw some thyme in there. Alright, now we'll mix. If you want to be efficient and, like mix your spices with the yogurt before you add the chicken, why... Alright, we'll let that sit. I'll use the excuse that way it was all on camera. Ah, it's raining cauliflower. Hey, Ozzy. Sat there and thought a second, like, what am I doing for tomorrow? Can I use this scrap in tomorrow's dish? I guess I sorta could in the egg salad. But nah. Not worth the effort of keeping it to just put it into the salad, just to put it in the salad. Oil, salt, other salt. I wasn't actually really thinking curry for tomorrow. I could do curry with the egg salad. It's egg salad week, everyone. Or let me double check that on the calendar. Yeah. Apparently it's egg salad week. And egg salad week started yesterday. And red curry powder. It's just McCormick. I don't show labels because I'm purposely not necessarily a fan of the company that I'm using. I am, as longtime viewers will know, will consider myself somewhat of an Indian food novice. Like, it's the culture I seem, despite me going to school with someone with some deep Indian food knowledge, I still feel like I don't know like hardly anything about Indian food. It's like so guarded and separate, and there hasn't been someone to go through and say, this is how they do it and that's how they do it. There hasn't been a Jose Andreas or a So I am going to pan saute this tonight. So we're going to prep some garlic and some roasted red pepper to throw with that. I have the jarred red pepper still somewhere in here. How'd you get all the way back there? I only want one. Give me the bigger of the two. I guess all the cases I used these roasted red peppers, I guess I should probably just should have bought pimentos. I chopped all of them up. Why am I doing this over the sink? Just peeling off garlic cloves. That'll be enough for the... Oh, maybe that was enough garlic. Those are both pretty well done. I so rarely properly slice my garlic. Like, if you see the way that I slice my onions and cross cut them and then down across them, That's how I did it all through culinary school and through a half dozen jobs. The difference between that and this, like it's not going in a consomme cup. Like, for that, it's going to get the job done. Sort of feel like that needs more spice. In fact, I'm going to add more spice to that. That's not colorful enough to me. Starting with more cayenne. More of the yellow curry. More mustard powder. More garlic. I'm not going to sweat the salt. I did a decent amount of salt, I think, for the amount of chicken that's there, but we'll do more pepper. Excuse me. Oh, over here. Yeah. Follow me, camera. Canned corn. Unless you think you're growing your own corn, think corn should only be bought canned or frozen. I think it's within 2 hours, they said. Or I was told in college, or I read in college, or that fresh corn or sweet corn will switch from 80% sugar when fresh on the and living to 80% starch within 2 hours of picking it. You know, there's a saying, you know, you should have the water boiling before you pick the corn. There's some seriousness behind that. And so corn from can in most cases, and most certainly frozen, is packed like right in the field these days. Well, that's me with horrible memory. Please double check that fact before you repeat that one. But that's what sticks in my head. Need more garlic for with our That said, there is something to be said for the whole nostalgia and summer thing of eating corn on the cob. Like, that's, like, it's an experience, you know, you sort of... I didn't even smush this one, and we'll smush it now. It was peeling nicely. Does several things. We're going to toss that one. First off, it makes the peels much easier to get off. But garlic does best by being smashed, flavor-wise. You want to break and tear and destroy the cell walls of your garlic because it releases chemicals that are technically chemical protective, you know, don't eat me, don't harm me type chemicals. But we find them tasty. And so you want to abuse your garlic. It's also why powdered dried garlic is going to have a different and more intense flavor than fresh garlic. Fresh garlic is typically a bit hotter. Just say no to garlic. I don't know, a couple months ago, I mentioned I saw in this supermarket, it was like a family supermarket if I remember correctly. They had like individual little pucks of frozen garlic that I thought was sort of a cool alternative, and I think that would probably be better than garlic. Like I hear garlic or sea garlic or there's just like this distinctive flavor and smell to it that just isn't natural. Like it may be a completely they could be doing completely natural process, just jarring garlic and oil or whatever they put in that. It just doesn't smell right. What was I doing this? Oh, for corn. Not even chopping through that one for the corn. Now we let the can drain out. We got that set. Tater time, chat. It's tater time. Tater time with Taylor. As usual, when it comes to gold potatoes or Yukon gold potatoes, which I prefer, these are just golds. Though these have been decent for gold potatoes. I've had some gold potatoes that just put shame on the idea of a Yukon gold. But as usual for gold potatoes, I am going to leave skin on and just chop them up a bit so that we don't get huge pieces of skin. That's partly a thing from... I've worked in several places that left their skin on in their mashed potatoes, but they made it in like a Hobart or a big stand mixer, and so it really just sort of tore the skin into the biggest terrible pieces that could make it through the machine. And no. Those slices were deep. Deep?
Scramble's listening, chat. Hi, chat. Get in the pan. Water. That was my guess, but only because of Metallica. I sold soup and coffee to Kirk once. That was a long time ago. Hi, Pinky. Boil them instead of just rinsing them. Get the outside sort of soft and slightly mushy. But make sure that they're dry and out in the air and air dry for a minute or two before you then try and sear them. Same sort of methodology as for making French fries. You want to... The other way you can do that is sort of a la Burger King or other battered fries, is you can take starch and water as sort of like a paste and coat the outside of them. I almost want to say I think more people have the problem of keeping the crispy brown bits of a potato attached to the potato and not just dissolving into whatever else they're cooking, like a hash or something like that. But I sort of go for oven for short of fryer. Let's do it. Fryer, oven, stovetop. As far as crispiness, like stovetop, you typically have to start worrying about things sticking or not sticking. Drain a little of the starch water off. Alright, those are over on the stove. Now we can go back to worrying about this craziness with the oil that Yeah, is it show like I'm streaming yet? No. OBS still says I'm inactive. Fingers worth more than any of my food means a lot of. I've done it on the stream several times. Yeah, I'm still healing from the last one. It's not really noticeable anymore, though. Okay, corn. All of our stuff's set here other than really the chicken. So let's take our, hopefully, somewhat strained oil here. Forget that this exists for stream. And pour our strained oil back into the fryer. crushing it. Okay, heat on potatoes and on the oil. Actually, going to put the potatoes in the back on the heat. How are we looking on our Zoom cameras? We doing okay here? Yeah. Soft. Ice cream popsicles that you can suck on and not chew. Pudding. Whether it's savory or sweet. Like, soft. Oh, it's not automatic means a lot of... I wish it was. I wish we had AI that would be like, that's where the action is, that's where we're going. I've looked for it. And I have used voice commands in the past for changing scenes, but right now we're just working off of directly OBS and my Stream Deck. Maybe it's time to, like, if you do any of your own cooking at home, maybe it's time to explore aspics. Let's prep our flour for our chicken. ASPIC. They are essentially savory jellos. Gelatinized, savory, like, they're used for making, like, if you've seen a consomme, a perfectly, like, clear consomme, I've seen presentation platters for high-end stuff have a layer of aspic, so it shows that nothing has been touched since it was placed down on the platter. But often, typically, in, like, fine dining restaurants and stuff like that, they're made into fancy molds with all sorts of interesting stuff. 70s, 60s, 50s, we had all sorts of questionable stuff in them that sort of ruined the idea of them. But they've made actually sort of come back here recently in San Francisco, where there's a couple of high-end places doing, like, straight up, like, snow globe or, like, you know, artistic scene of live, you know, fish or octopi, stuff like that, suspended in the jelly.
It's fancy Jell-O salad. Due to the thickness of the yogurt, I think we're just going to do a single coat on this tonight. I don't have a ton of extra flour to go back and forth tonight either. More spice in the flour. Garlic, ginger, more yellow curry, yellow mustard. Where did I put the thyme? Chat, where'd you put my thyme? Absolutely not staring me in the face. Not at all. That seems rather light, but with everything else that's gone in there, I'm going to stay with it. I somewhat subscribe to the, if it's not in the flour, it's not there, but it's there. It's there. Oh, hey. Need a flame underneath there to get that to heat up. And so the yogurt just cakes on, which then allows the flour to cake on.
Yep. Plain yogurt. It is a bit thick. Like someone called it as Greek yogurt. It's thick like a Greek yogurt, but no, it was just cheap yogurt. Though I know Strauss has a maple yogurt. That might not be bad in this. Or do you mean plain in that you don't see the seasoning in that? I'm regretting not cutting the wingtips of the wings off. I never chew on the wingtips. Like, why am I bothering with this? It just gets in the way. It's an odd angle out away from everything else. .300-degree oven preheating for throwing the chicken in after it's been... Yeah, there's lots of... I actually seasoned this one twice because I thought it was looking a bit too plain. And I definitely added seasoning in here too, but it sort of disappeared in here. Hey, pizza. Happy Sunday to y'all. How goes it, pizza? Well, I am somehow streaming. It made for a hectic, 15 minutes trying to start the stream. Dinner's looking delicious, though. We've got chicken that's been coated in heavily seasoned yogurt with some mildly seasoned flour. We've got seasoned cauliflower with garlic and roasted red pepper to toss in with it for a quick saute. We've got canned corn with garlic to throw with that. I'm going to throw some dried oregano with that as well. Got taters on the boil and back. I haven't done a gravy. We need to do a gravy, chat. That's what I'm forgetting. That oil is already getting warm. Yeah, 200 degrees, so we're okay. We're going to turn the heat off of the oil for a second, and we're going to make ourselves a gravy here quick. Chat, I said cream gravy in the Discord. Do I add some half and half to this? I'm leaning towards just leaving it straight chicken. Like, we're still thickening it. It's still gravy. It's still going to be delicious. I'm just debating do I need to add that? I'm leaning towards no, regardless of what chat says. Alright, butter, flour, oh hey, I got flour on me anyways. Awesome. That goes great on black shirts. Alright, so we got homemade chicken stock. To toss in there. Thicken. Hey, Alex. Adds creaminess, makes it lighter in color. I'm not adding really enough cream to really, like, you can affect texture with cream. The amount that I would add either way, like, just, like, I spend a fair amount on food, but I don't do straight cream often. And yes, Alex, it does great for thick coating on the chicken, if you think about that for a fried chicken. And oftentimes you're doing a buttermilk, so it's right in that same sour, tangy. I'm adding a bunch of Indian spice into my fried chicken mix tonight, though, so we're also fusioning fried chicken tonight. Alright, so now that we got that thickening up, right, like right now, just the butter, is showing like that's almost a cream gravy looking right now. We're going to add a bunch more stock into that because that is going to have to reduce down and cook. We used a roux, which the raw flour is going to taste like raw flour in our gravy unless we cook it for a bit. Sort of strange, like some people I think equate the flavor of flour to a gravy flavor because they grew up with, roux gravies that weren't properly cooked. There's other things like that, like Apparently the US and several other markets sort of like their mayonnaise is slightly funky. Fresh mayo is better. So we'll hit this gravy or thickened stock with salt. Since I don't heavily salt my stock to begin with, we'll do that pretty decently. Let's do white pepper in there to keep it all nice and same color. MSG. Or if you look in other cultures where most Western or American palates would find durian disgusting, I'm not a big fan of the flavor myself. It's not too far off of, you know, like yogurt pudding. But the scent, like the people who grow up with it just love it. But or the differences in coffee preferences, where here in the US we all love heavily roasted coffee, or majority of us love over roasted or heavily roasted coffees because that's what we've been drinking for generations now, versus artisan coffees, which are much more delicate, much more nuanced, can be straight up like tea. That's our oven coming to 300 degrees. So low flame on the gravy. Allow that to continue to simmer. Our potatoes have come to a light boil. Let those keep going for the moment. And turn the oil back on, the flame back on the oil. I like light and medium roasts myself, but that still isn't in the same category of like... there's a defunct coffee house that used to be in Healdsburg. It's in the northern end of... it's sort of one of the rich towns of Sonoma. They also have less... because they're in the northern part of the county, they have less restrictions on their air. I don't know if it's Santa Rosa that has those restrictions, or if it's San Francisco all the way out here with their restrictions. But apparently in Healdsburg, you're fine to not have to have what's known as an afterburner on your coffee roaster, so that you're burning off your exhaust, so that there's nothing nasty coming out of your coffee roaster. Regardless, they did all sorts of individual single origin, single plantation, single... different elevations in in the same country and things like that, and did all sorts of tastings and stuff like that. They didn't succeed, but they had all sorts of interesting coffee to taste. And I don't really have the desire to, but I have not traveled or backpacked the equator to try coffees direct from the source, which has got to be a different experience. It's got to be, like anything else that you get fresh from the source, it's got to be light years better too. I almost don't want to ruin what I think of coffee, because what I think of coffee is probably wrong. We're getting closer on these for our first fry. So I'm going to give these a flip now, leaving as much flour as will cake on these. I used to drink more light coffee than I do these days. The acid started getting to me. Though, depending on who you talk to, that's sort of a silly statement, because lighter coffees are not necessarily more acidic. Yes, a less roasted coffee is less acidic, but a less roasted coffee is also weighing more per pound. And so as you roast it, the weight loss and water loss doesn't exactly track, but makes it less of a thing than most people would think. I wish someone would show an actual study on that one, though. It's just like... Oil hot yet? Nope. 255. Potato skins are all looking relatively still attached, so I'm letting that continue to boil. Boiling the potatoes to the point that the skin starts peeling is technically overboiling your potatoes for mashed potatoes. But they're mashed potatoes. almost 300. 280s, 290s. Don't ask me what that is in Celsius. Sorry, chat. I'll agree with you that metric is a better system, but Fahrenheit is better than Celsius. We got a couple of loads of chicken to do here tonight, and so I think the plan is we're going to bring that up to 375-ish, and then once we load it in there, I'm guessing it's going to be 325-ish, maybe, and we'll go with that. It's not like I have electric controlled temperature sensor turning it on and off, it's just got a flame underneath it, but sauce off, or flame on the gravy off. We're still gonna let the potatoes go a bit. The problem with cutting them up the way that I did is they're now too small for you to easily, do the knife test with the potatoes to see, oh, they're nice and soft all the way through. Another 40 degrees or so to go. butter for taters. The other butter there is half going in this gravy to finish it, and in the corn. We're going just oil for the cauliflower. Butter's already warm enough that paper's sort of holding it together for cutting. This needs a touch more salt, even though I salted that pretty heavily. Emulsify the butter into this. Thickens it just that touch bit more. So gravy's set. Alright, going in with our first batch of chicken. See, dropped us down to 325, a little bit lower than that. I was actually pretty close. I'm going to rinse off the spoon and pan. It's getting warm in here. We've got three hobs on, and the oven's on, and it's the hottest time of day for the house. It's like they're slowly starting to appear. What I'm relatively sure is actually happening there is all the loose flour is cooking and settling. They're relatively fresh oil, and so we're not getting tons of dark color on this right now. Don't have those access of, industrial oils these days that have perfect color all the way through for the fast food companies. Also probably give you cancer. What am I talking about? This probably gives you cancer. That's a new one, Bot Cuisine. Dad joke. Let's see how many pieces we got here for our second. We got room for one more here. can see that turmeric color from the turmeric / mustard color coming through on this compared to your other fried chickens. Oh, we're getting there with you too. You're fine for the oven. You're still a little soft. Give you a moment more. Flame off on the potatoes, if only to try and reduce the heat. Fine salt over the top of the recently fried. Let's see where we are with our oil temp. Yeah, we're gonna give that a moment to recover. Yeah, I've got the oven set to 300, and we'll finish them, or at least half finish / hot hold them. Other than this one, other than the biggest of these three, I'm relatively certain these three are all cooked through. The bone on this one, this thicker one, carryover / in the oven, maybe okay now. So we're not doing a ton in the oven as far as cooking. More just keeping them warm while we do all the rest of this. If you want to be super chef, you can, stagger them and cook them longer the longer you go along. But I don't know how that works out, considering it's going to be longer in the oven, but it's also going to be in the oven longer because you're staggering your oil cook times. Okay, going in round 2. Turn the flame off there because there was oil dripping over the side. flame back on. Now that I'm relatively certain I got most of that oil off of the side. Gravy's got his skin already. Tasting delicious though. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Smell right now, it's mostly oil. Unfortunately. Wish I could say it smells phenomenal. Often does. Just not right now. Telling it like it is, chat. How much heat did we lose? Oh, we lost a lot of heat. I don't know if that showed on stream or not, but we're down 240, 250-ish. We want to be 325-ish. Lost a lot of heat taking the flame off. Move these last pieces into the flour to get it coating. This almost sounds like a Christmas song to me. Oh, we got extra yogurt, chat. If I was a yogurt chicken frying place, that would just get more chicken thrown in there. They are different. They are not accurate to what I would use for telling something is properly cooked, because you need an internal and not a surface temperature for telling that. And so the infrared thermometers, like my little gun is, you know, it changes accuracy by its distance. So it's not nearly as accurate. It's very much a ballpark thing. And it tells you the surface temperature versus what's in the center of your roast. They're very handy for things like just quick checking the oil temp or things along that line. Alternatively, if I had thought about it, we had gotten to that before I made the sauce. We could have used leftover yogurt to make the gravy and do a yogurt-based gravy. Just add a whole bunch of chicken flavor into it. But we got gravy now. So wing is some of the thinner cooking of what we got going on in here. This batch is taking too long because it got too cold. Oh, we're taking you out. You're good. fine salt over the freshly fried chicken. We'll get that back up to temp. Looks almost like caramel, doesn't it, chat? $270-ish. Oh, hush. Drain. My drain's gurgling. I don't know why it's upset. I feed it all sorts of stuff. Crispy. Again, 320-ish right now. We're waiting for 375, so once the chicken's in there, it's hopefully 325. Last time we put it in there at 375, and the oil splashed over the side, and I turned off the heat to prevent it from catching fire. And so it got much lower in temp than 325. And we fought that the entire time and cooked it probably an extra 5 minutes. Gotta try the batter. That wasn't a good test of the batter. We'll try a better test of the batter. Hi, Zeeks. Got crunch. Got flavor. Actually, this is relatively clean new oil, Zeeks. This has only seen fish before this. Or actually, did I... No, I didn't even use... What did I use this for? I used this for... What did I fry last, chat? Wasn't fish, it wasn't chicken. We're trying a recipe tomorrow that I'm curious if it's gonna be better or worse than onion rings. It's definitely different. I think I'm already know my answer, which is sort of the truth about everything. Onion rings are amazing until you get to like the third one. And in this case, the onion that I'm looking to do tomorrow night maybe last beyond 3 while being slightly healthier, oven-based. That reminds me, I'm gonna have to go shopping for tomorrow's stream. I was hoping I was gonna be able to skip out on that, but I've got the onions, but I need other things. Smelling like we're getting close. Yeah. We're starting to get that peanut butter cooked flour smell at this temp. That dark roux smell, peanut butter smell. And in with our last batch of chicken for the night. I've made onion rings a couple of times before. They're fun. Until you get to the third one. 50-50 beer and flour. And then add in what other flavorings you want. Say garlic powder, mustard, cayenne, chili powder. it's going to be one of those things where the atmosphere is also going to mess with you. You know how some baking recipes, they add more or less moisture. And it's also a preference thing, too. The thicker you're going, you're going to want more to coat and thicken it. And so you're going to want it to be thicker and less liquidy. And so you sort of got to sit there, and if it's too thin, add a little more flour. If it's too thick, add a little more water or beer or whatever you're using. Use wine, too. I went a good lager maybe, but otherwise you don't have to spend money on it. It's mostly giving you a little bit of that malty flavor in there. Like, I wouldn't suggest... IPAs are okay, but I wouldn't suggest them. Dark beers are okay. Maybe. But, you know, just a standard... Like, I wouldn't go for an American ale either, but an ale or a lager or whatever you're drinking. If you're drinking. Wants to fall off on this one. The batter. So we'll put fresh fine salt on top of all the newly fried. And that deliciousness is now going in the oven to cook/hot hold. We're going to put a lid on top of that oil. And we're going to move on to the other points of tonight's dinner. Alright, large pan on the left. Oil. Oil in the other pan on the right. Garlic in both pans going in. Pickled red pepper, pickled roasted red pepper, or jarred roasted red pepper. It's adding a bunch of water, which is making that oil unhappy. Meanwhile, this garlic over here is just sort of like on easy mode. Going in with our cauliflower with the garlic and roasted red pepper. The red pepper's in there now mostly to get it warm and mix in nicely with everything else. It doesn't need to be in here this quickly. Can't get the curry in with my garlic and corn. Our drained can of corn going in. salt and pepper, MSG with our garlic and corn. And lastly, dried oregano, which I should have open already, but I don't. Peel for me. Peel for me. My poor oregano. Just couldn't get purchased with my fingers. Dried oregano. What you bothering me about, phone? I don't think it's anything that matters. Nope. Indianapolis sure has the radio scanner listeners. Because I don't listen to radio, but I have a radio scanner alert thing for end of the world is coming, prepare. Actually, it's more for the fact that wildfire communication is not the greatest in the world. But I get more alerts for stuff going on in Indianapolis. Someone sneezes and they have 1,000 people listening to their radio scanner. Go ahead and strain our taters. Start mashing these. Oh, there's several ones. I'm not going to recommend any one over the others, but there's all sorts of radio scanner apps for people that are putting radio scanners on the web. Just radio scanner. Just look in Play Store or the Apple Store. I don't know what type of phone you got. Oh yeah, I think that's one of them. It's not the one that I use, but I think that's one of the big ones. Where'd my music go? When did my music stop? Have we been without music for a while, chat? Salt, pepper, and MSG for our taters. And just a touch of chicken stock, just because I don't think it is quite loose enough. And forget the amount of cream and butter I already added in there. It's healthier for me if I add stock. It results in a greenier, less smooth mash, though. There's a reason not to add water-based non-fats into your potatoes. Well, that's nice, Mel. I appreciate your company. Good with that. Good with this. I think our chicken's probably good. You can turn the heat off on that. I think we're ready for dinner, chat. We'll give that a little bit of a microwave to thin back up. Gravy is delicious. Brockosify seems like a nice setup. It's just more than what I'm looking for because I'm not really into the scanners and listening to them all the time, where that seems like a great option for that. They don't have great coverage in Sonoma from what I remember, though it's been a minute since I've done anything with this. And it's more for people that are actually like listening. I'm interested in, there's more people than usual listening to the scanners in my area or nationally because of news. We have our oregano and garlic corn. We have our yellow curry or red curry rather, with garlic and roasted red pepper, cauliflower, on the edge of being too thick here. Well, maybe pour all right. Looking okay though. Let's take this chicken out. Chicken. Chicken. You're purty. You're purty. And even though I put white pepper in there to keep it not looking flaky for the photo, I want a little extra pepper over the top. That's looking like a successful dinner there, chat. But this would have been a much lighter gravy, which contrasts better with the chicken if I had put the half and half in. Commercials! We're just about to wrap up. Oh. Thank you, Mo. That gravy is a large portion of why I like making chicken stock at home. How beautifully easy it is to just make a quick pan sauce after searing something. It's amazing for adding flavor to things like rice and using for a little bit in the potatoes tonight and things like that too. But pan sauces is where stocks are worth their money, worth their time, worth the effort. Which there's a lot of effort in making, like, if you, like, sitting around for 6-8 hours. By the way, Chad, I'm tempted. We'll see. I'm gonna have to. I have to go and get. I need to get myself another quarter steer for the freezer and for home, and we'll see if we can't get some veal bones. See if we can't do a veal stock stream. Because there's a couple. I didn't do any for the last chicken stock stream. I do have a couple of long cooked dinners that I'd love to do a Mississippi pot roast, which is pot roast, but it's done more acidically and with a bunch of seasoning that you wouldn't normally throw in there. But I'd like to make my own beef stock for the first time in a long time, or veal stock if I can. So that might make it onto the calendar here for next month. What do I have for this? With this for? Well, actually, I know what I'm having with this. I'm having that super sweet strawberry lemonade with this tonight. Because it's getting too late for caffeine for tea, and not doing booze tonight. I like me an Arnold Palmer. Especially if it's like being mixed. It isn't like pre-made Arnold Palmer. I considered carrot smell, but there's a limit to how much I want to make for one dinner. Corn bumped the carrots. But I do think that's going to wrap it up for tonight now that we've got everyone back from ad. I do apologize for the last minute ad. I wasn't paying attention to when the next ad roll was. Alright, folks. I am actually going to raid out tonight, but I am just going to raid out to Good Times with Scar. They're basically wrapping up their 48-hour or 2-night charity stream, raising money for Gamers for Giving, who create like gaming consoles for kids to play in hospitals. Sort of a cool setup, sort of a cool charity to support. So I'm going to send all of you to go hang out with them. I don't know how close they are to wrapping things up, but they're probably wrapping things up. I hope you all have a great evening. I hope to see you back here tomorrow night. Good night, folks.
Also very handsome. Good save. Good save. You'll speak when spoken to. $1. I mean, it sound like I was saying that to you then. So excited for the next live series for $1. We got Sorrel Bites, Alliteration, that pathetic divorced dragon. We got Biba Begita. That sounds like a song. The Pies Alive, $3.14, $10 from Mama Lace. We've got Anonymous with the $3.14 as well. Holly with the $3.14, Kelpie Puppet, Halea. We've got Gems Hardcore Pie Block series with a 10. Sunday Driver with a $10. Tango Sparkly Head, Pie Nil. We've got Saro, Anonymous, this tag with a 25. Anonymous with a 25 as well. Designing offers you a pie and a drink with $1. Anonymous with a 25. Jules with a 25 as well. My Catastrophe 25. Palessa Moon Pie. Pie Gone Gin with $3.14. We got the Oh My God Horn. We got Pie for Grumbar. Poop Stickle 256 with $1. Thank you very much. Is that someone's done the pie emoji? Is the name? That's a first. We got Ruby with a 3.14. $62 coming in from Sunday back there. Let me see if I can find that. $2,500 match is what we've just been working through from Muckamerin, I want to say that's pronounced. So sorry if I butchered that. We are just about to break the threshold. Skitties in my face. We've got $100 from Sati. Thank you so much. 3.14 from how many digits of pie do you know? Like 3. We've got Ember Ella, Past Night. We've got Tango's Pineapple Head. Cyber Destructor. Yeah. Pies. We've got Skizzle Stab. We've got Magnum 2002. Emmy's Graduation 2025. Never Gonna Give You Up. Don't start with the Rick Astley again, I'm telling you. Is this for a jar with $1? Thank you very much. We've got Kyle S for the kids, $25. 50 coming from Alex Karma. We've got Gravity TM as well with a 25. Thank you very much. Lego McNelly with a 10. We've got pies coming in from Sincost Towns Go. 100 from Basie. Thank you very much. Celtic Jacks and Spudboard. We've got Flango Texas Country Star, whatever that means. Sarah tuning in with 3.15. We've got one cake from day 8. For the bad boys in Joel's base. We've got Loud Skelly Man with a 25. $314 from Cheesecake is Pie. We've got $100 coming in from Ashino Ubihaza or Ubihiza. Fairy Tale Server. We've got OSHA Violation. Martin's Philly Freezers, Fridge Freezers, and Freezer Freezers. Thank you very much. Hundo from Walter as well. Hundo from Brittany. 20 from Hannah and Bubbles Part 2. Never Gonna Let You Down. It's all happening. Box of Bravery. We got 3.14s coming in from Slice Baby. 25 from Alice Vera. Piracy, I like that one as well. Maddie 3.14. Ben Cohen, another Hundo coming in. Basic Bib as well. With $33. Mud Pie with Grass Clippings from Jimmy. That's a good one. For the pie, says Kyle S. And we've got another double up starting, everybody. We are on the final $4,000 stretch. Long Legs McGee, Joe Hill's Difference, Phoenix Fire with a 25, Walter Lock 98 with a Hundo, No Stranger to Loving Tango. We've got Prioshi, Dr. Cash, and Save Forever with a 25, $10 from No Club and My Mouth. Martin is amazing. We got Matty for TFC, Luna with 5 as well. Anonymous Hundo, 4x now. Oh my god, it's like flickering up and down. Felix, Lentils, Psychotic, Frozen Family, thank you for $31. We've got Genius with the 31.40. Silver Feathers Month, thank you for the 10. Operation Crown, Clown from Clown Town. We've got Casberry, Awful Punk, Tango's Lost Redstone Boxes. We've got Teaser Plottle, I want to say that's pronounced. And it was Jimmy / Tango Hungry.
797, guys. Come on, 3,000.
250. Shadow Wolf was matching for 250 as well. We've got Agree and Get the Gong, Leapazan, One Cross to Rule Them All, I Yearn for the Pie, Sleepy Meadow, Pie with Extra Pie, Pie for James, chat. We've got 2.9k to go. Let's keep this going. Safe travels, everyone. Glitched Magic, Pie for All. We've got Glasses Gang, Pieing to See. Nah, I don't want to see. I don't want to pie these silly games. Very good. We like a limited life pies. Bash up. We've got Angela with